My name is Billy Blair. I'm a local beekeeper in Brewton, Alabama. There's a swarm of bees in a small oak tree near the YMCA, and they're looking for a new home. So when they swarm, when they separate from another hive, they'll go to a resting place and cover the queen. She'll be in a safe place underneath those bees. Scout bees are looking for a new home, and when they find a cavity in a tree or some place that's good for them to start a new hive, they'll show the other bees where it is, and the queen and all that swarm will go to a new place to live. What I wanted to do is catch them before they leave, and I have a bee vacuum I'm going to use because this swarm is not hanging on one tree limb. That's easier to catch that way. These are all the way around the bark of a tree or the trunk of a tree. So I'm going to vacuum them up, and then when I get the majority of them, I'll just use a bee brush to brush them off onto a piece of cardboard and put them in my cage, take them home, put them in a new hive. We have a lot less bees than America once had, and that's primarily because of the mites that have come into the United States, and they'll kill the beehive. Some people blame the farmers for it, but chemicals now being made that are pretty much bee safe, and the farmers are aware of the less bee population, and they need bees too. But a lot of farmers are paying beekeepers to pollinate their fields. It's important that we have bees because a high percentage of our food depends on pollination by insects, and bees are just one insect that cross-pollinates food. All of our nuts and grains we would be without if we didn't have bees to pollinate them.
Well, we have identified a swarm of wild bees that have arrived on the Y property in a little oak tree in front of the preschool, and we notified Mr. Billy Blair, who is our beekeeper, and he's coming to remove the bees and give them a new home.
That'll help them stay in one spot a little longer.
So
This has got a cage in it like that one. I already have one in here. So I could get to them easier.
Take that end off. Yeah, I took it off the other day.
Now I may fly leave and I'll show you a picture of the plane.
Rain coming.
Putting on some protective gear just to minimize bee stings. I usually do 5 hive inspections at a time, and each hive will have about 60,000 bees in it, and I can do that without getting stung. You don't get stung every time you go to the beehive. What we're going to do is just look and see how they've progressed since they were put in this hive box. They should have 2 cones of honey on each side of the hive box, 1 on each side, and they'll be solid honey. They'll weigh about 10 pounds apiece. They need about 40 pounds to get through a winter. Everything in this box is their food for winter. And then the other 8 frames in there is 10 total. They'll have honey around the top of that frame, and in the middle she'll lay her eggs. She'll lay about 1,500 eggs a day. takes 21 days for them to hatch. So every day she's got about 1,500 new bees. So this is an outer top. It helps with insulation. And this is an inner top. It keeps them from gluing down that one because this one overhangs the side and I can't get my eye tool under there to pry it up. They put propolis all the way around this and they glue everything down. They're going to be mean today. But this is a good sign. Lots of healthy bees. The bee box is full of bees.
Good. I can hear 'em.
That's a good sound. This is one of those combs. They're going to fill this frame with honey before the summer's over. So they haven't, this is foundation, and you can see where they're building the honeycomb on the foundation that I provided. They'll store honey in there. They're finished with this side, and you can see the nectar. See the shiny liquid in there? That's nectar that they're storing. They'll continue to build this out some, and then they'll fan that nectar and get it down to about less than 18% moisture, and they'll seal it and it'll be honey. And this one they haven't. Yep, they built honeycomb here. So this one's not ready for super yet. If they had all this filled out, we could put a super on top and they would store honey for us. But everything they put in the bottom is for them. It helps them to live through the winter. This one is pretty heavy. You see how they're building this is honey up here. It's sealed. And they got nectar down here.
There's the sun coming out.
There's pollen in these yellow cells of stored pollen. That's for food. When they have little bees, they'll feed them a bee bread, what we call bee bread. It's a mixture of nectar and pollen. All of this is brood or baby bees capped underneath here. They're about 8 days old, and they put a cap on them, and they'll be under that cap for about 12 more days, and then they'll eat the top off and they'll come out. Those little white ones right there is bee larvae. They haven't been capped yet. So she's laying a good pattern, the queen is. She's going to have a lot more bees here in a few days. That one's full too. There's about 3,000 cells on each side. Takes her about 2 days to fill a side with eggs. So this represents about 6,000 new bees on this frame.
Wow.
And they could be hatching today. I don't know when they were sealed, but that's a good sign of a healthy queen when she has a good pattern like that. I would add another box on top of here where they could only store honey, and she's not allowed to go up there because I put a screen between these two boxes. It keeps her out, but it's big enough for the honeybees to go through, and they'll store honey up there. Everything in the super is for our consumption, and everything in this brood box is for their consumption. And they're really not excited too much, even though we've disturbed them and didn't smoke them. They're not real bad bees this morning. Take them a few minutes to calm down, just like it would be at your house if someone came in. And sun's breaking through the clouds, so they'll be going to work here in a little bit.